Welcome, everyone, to episode 151 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff and podcast too. Today, I'm bringing back a favorite of mine from the previous 150 episodes, really quick. Miranda Krogstad is going to be my guest for the next 2 episodes. I really enjoyed talking with her. She's got a really good energy to her. And like I said, on a personal, I still have to go see her perform live at some point. Because again, she's super fun to talk to, very bubbly, very friendly, silly in all the right ways. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to her, so I had to invite her back again, and we have a longer conversation here, so the next 2 episodes. Before we get to that, I got to talk about my next live podcast. It's coming March 22nd. Yeah, that's right, March 22nd. I was originally going to do a jealous theme party, but upon further reflection, I'm thinking to myself that maybe this time I don't do that. I work instead on making like just a celebration. I've gone through some big changes this last year, and I got a lot of big things coming up this year, and I'm really excited about that. And I've taken some huge steps to get to where I want to be, and this is a combination of celebrating that, as well as launching my book properly. Finally, The Wandering God from Mirror Publishing. I couldn't do that because of what I was taking care of, and now that that's done, we're going to do it. And as a result, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to really getting going in this, and I'm hoping that I will see you all at Owl's Nest Books on March 22nd. I get interviewed by my sister, and that's scary in more ways than one. But yeah, March 22nd, Owl's Nest Books. Be there. All right. Let's get to the conversation. We'll just talk about whatever. Yeah. So with my surgery, I ended up saving. There's a bunch of teeth here that are still there, which.
Hey, I was gonna say you're not like toothless, dude.
No,
congrats.
Yeah, I know.
You can choose some things.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally expecting.
Yeah.
Right? I was expecting
Me
zero.
too. Me too. No.
Full on grandma gums, is what I was expecting.
No, then I wouldn't be able to talk. Then I wouldn't be able to talk. No, the bottoms were fine. The top I knew needed a lot of work because I had a lot of broken teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. But then we go into the operation room. It's like, yeah, we can save this one, and a couple over here. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's gonna make
exciting.
this. Yeah. Well, it means that I'm gonna have to head to Mexico soon-ish because this is what's gonna happen.
You have to head to Mexico. What a tough life.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to Mexico for? That's so exciting.
The rest of the dental.
Oh,
Because
smart. Medical tourism. That's
a
real
thing. Well, it's gonna serve 2 purposes.
Okay.
Purpose number 1, I used to live in Phoenix. I also used to live in. So you go north. They have actually a town called Snowflake Taylor. I got to work for one of my heroes there, right? And
that's right.
Right. But thing is, and I said this I think on the last one, but this one too. I haven't had a chance to go back there and thank some of the people that were there. So what I would like to do is I will go to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Yuma across the border, right? Do the dental, because there's a dental town literally 7 miles across the border there. I gotta look up charter buses and stuff like that. And there's still I'm still got some detail stuff to work out. But yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'll do that for 5 days, a week, whatever. Then I'll head back to Phoenix. And then when I can go up, the only thing I'm not sure about is, so where I lived was 7,000 feet up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I live. So even compared to here,
yeah,
right, it's higher than here.
Which is crazy because especially in Banff and in the Rockies, right? The elevation gain is craziness.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, wow.
So even there, it's even more so. So wow. I may have to wait a little long. I don't know how that's gonna. I have no idea what's gonna happen there. So I may have to wait another week or something like that. But yeah, I would like to go up for a few days, see the people I wanted to see for a while, thank them personally, because that's just how. Yeah,
You're all about the warm fuzzies.
I do. I do that. Yeah. But no. So I have 2 beliefs. No one owes you anything, right? And you should. And if you realize that, you should thank people that help you, that go out of their way to help you, because they never had to.
Bam. Love it.
You love it?
Those are good life policies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're gonna get kind of a visit with your friends and humans.
Some humans, yes, but I'm gonna take care of I'm looking at probably getting the zirconians, because the problem with the metal. Now call me old-fashioned, but I like the idea that when I'm an old man I can still get an erection. I like that idea.
All right, I like that idea. I mean, I this is one of the things about being a guy is I do enjoy that feeling, and I want to keep that with me for as long. Yeah.
And so this interferes with that?
So tight metal in the mouth can cause like
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to.
Right. But you're like, hey, let's not roll those dice. Those are a shitty set of dice.
I like being happy-go-lucky Josh, and I'd rather be happy-go-lucky Josh until I'm 80. Then maybe at that point I'll be too old to care.
Fair enough. Dude, I would not close that door either.
Yeah.
That is fair.
That's true. So that,
I had no idea that was even a thing. Okay,
oh no.
You learn.
Yeah.
I learned today.
Yeah, yeah, especially titanium. It's because it's a conductor. I've been, my dad's into alternative health, so I've been like, so I get all this information. Like, I got information on things like you wouldn't believe. Okay. You just wouldn't believe. I literally have to turn off my brain sometimes when I get food. Because if I don't.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah. It's
and I absolutely know. Like, when I'm eating a box of Kraft Dinner, I'm like, I understand. Like, I know this is not good for me. Like, there's no such thing as powdered cheese. Like, that's not a natural thing that happens in the world. But when I eat it, you just gotta shut off your brain and be like, man, my taste buds are having a party right now. We're just gonna forget the rest of it.
And the funny part here, okay, so here's the thing. I can't eat Kraft Dinner anymore.
Oh, I know. I don't tell me. Just don't.
No, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you the side effects. No, nothing. I'm just gonna tell you what it does to me because I just.
Okay, so it's just an effect on your own body.
Yeah. No, see, I get really bloated if I eat Kraft Dinner, and I'm like, it's kind of like drinking too much alcohol. You just get that bloated feeling, and that's not cool.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's not enjoyable, like if the effects outweigh the benefits. I'm slightly lactose intolerant too, so when I eat like I'm okay as long as I don't eat like a Peter's milkshake, which by the way are like the best things in the whole world.
They totally are.
Oh my gosh, the mint. What do I get? Mint Oreo. Oh my God, it's like, and for that, I'll suffer for an evening. I'll just be bloated and gross and just unhappy for like an evening because the milkshake is worth it, just that once. But, you gotta weigh the costs and the benefits.
Well,
Kraft Dinner, is it worth it for you? Kraft Dinner is totally fucking worth it for me. But, but it depends on your body, I guess.
Well, see, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting older, so I can still like binge.
Yeah.
But I pay for it a little bit more than I did when I was younger, so.
Yeah.
So I'm at that point now. It's like, is it really worth it? Now, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like this year was like the other like I took this as an opportunity like to take care of myself better as well. I was starting to do that before I fixed the teeth. But when that came to the head, I knew I had to do it. It was like, okay, let's reevaluate everything I'm doing. So I cut back on sugar. I don't completely get rid of it because that's impossible.
Congrats, that's so tough.
Yeah, that's impossible. Again, I still have those days where I definitely do come short, but they're fewer and farther between.
Right, reduction at least, right?
Yeah,
that's what you can do, totally.
Yeah, so I do that, and then I've been doing smoothies like crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I got like this little thing and like I play with it. I am my father because my father used to. When I grew up to a blender all the time going in there. I was his guinea pig. I was like, Josh, try this. No, this was back in the day when nothing was palatable. Like
right.
Yeah, he hadn't figured out the palatability part. By the time he figured it out, I was about at the door. Right. But so I was like 20-something years of me just going, Josh, try this. Okay. My personal favorite is like, okay, I think a guy it has apples in it. He lied.
Oh.
No. This was funny. I drank it. I tasted like honey. I tasted like I can't remember. Like it was just this concoction, no apple. Yeah. So he nearly did a spit take on his own drink. Like, Dad, where's the apples? I don't believe it. So he did it again. He had to put more apples in it. It was even worse.
Yeah.
It was even worse.
Apple juice is good, but I find apples in smoothies gets like mulchy and weird. Like it's a texture thing.
Yeah.
It's not a flavor thing because it does sweeten it. It's good, but the texture gets so weird if you blend those.
Oh yeah. So now when he just tells me there's apples in it, I don't believe him. I just don't. I just don't.
He's trying to trick you.
Yes,
hey?
right. You know, it's like, just tell me what's really in here.
You've done this before.
Yeah, that's right.
Our trust has been broken.
That's right.
By smoothies.
Yeah. So what weird childhood stuff did you actually deal with in the house,
Oh man, like what kind of like health?
Like, it doesn't have to be health. Like for me, it was the blend. What
issues? Like just general like craziness.
Well, do you still live at home?
No, I live on my own now with my boyfriend. We live in a little apartment.
Okay, so for me it's like what can I, how do I put this? I can go back to my childhood. It's like I miss that stupid blender. And I don't ever. It's one of those like little things that you don't think you'd miss.
Yes.
But I miss the blender.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like my childhood was a little bit like more. I don't want to say hectic, but definitely like beautifully hectic, maybe, than the average duck. My dad's house especially, we had foster siblings. We had my stepbrother who was 10 years younger than me. And then my two sisters and my stepmom and my dad. So most times in the house we had kind of 8-ish people and not enough rooms for all the humans anyway. So usually a couple people to a room sort of thing. So it was always very like comfortably loud. I find that I can't work in silence. I have to put in my headphones and we'll put on some kind of background noise. Just like put on a YouTube video of like cafe noises or like just running water, something like that, like can just be white noise.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to having like just people around, and that's a very comforting sound for me. Like to have that hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Right. So I think maybe that might be what I miss. I don't miss having people grab me by the elbow and see if I can still write while they shake my arm. I don't miss like Miranda, but you can just finish that later. Can't we just like play right now? Like I don't miss that. No, I mean, of course, to a certain extent I do, too, right? Like, I guess I miss having everybody around, but I also really appreciate the ability to get shit done.
Yeah.
That's something.
There's also a bit of peace and mind to the sanctity of one's own home.
Absolutely. To be able to just do what you want when you want. I get up and make a snack at 3 a.m. sometimes because I'm a poet and who cares what time I go to sleep, right? Unless I have a workshop the next day. So I'm making a snack at 3 a.m. and I don't have to worry about, so-and-so in the next room waking them up.
Yeah, no, all artists have weird habits. Like for me, I sleep when I sleep. That's it. There's no set time for me to go to bed anymore. Yes. I just last night I slept a normal night. I went to bed at midnight. I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was weird.
Yeah, I know it's so strange when I'm like, because I've had a few school workshops lately, more so than night gigs. I find that like my body has been waking me up at like 8 in the morning, and I'm like, what's happening? Like this is like a normal like 9 to 5 wake up time. What's happening right now? And yeah, when I worked at like summer camps, how I work there each summer, and I have to get up in time to be there at like 8:15 is when the morning meeting is. I will wake up at the very last minute, like whenever the last second is that I can wake up. When I lived close to the university, I'd wake up at like 7:45, hop on my bike, and get out of there. I'd make sure I was like dressed in the clothes that I was gonna wake up in, like when I went to bed, have my backpack and my breakfast and lunch bag. I am not a morning person. This is how I function in the real world, man, is I'm just like last possible second. That's what
we are all I know it's hard to believe considering everything you sometimes see me do on Facebook, but I'm also a procrastinator. I'm a big
No. You accomplish so much. I'm so impressed, honestly. Like procrastinator is not always the way it works.
Well
you still get shit done.
It's just okay, so I think I mentioned the 3 rules last time. If I didn't show up, do your shit, the rest is rain.
Yes.
Here, I added a 4th rule. Jonas Saul was the guest before you were, and he mentioned give yourself no excuses. And
beautiful.
Yeah, it's rule 3, right? 1, 2, no excuses, and it's weird because actually I just slight change. I've been oddly happy since the surgery, and it's been weird. Like it's been
nice. Are you on drugs or is it just general life happiness?
Just general life.
Like, is it the T4s? What's happening, or what are they? T3s? What do they give you?
No, they don't. I didn't use painkillers.
What? You're so hardcore.
No.
With them T2s, I was sucking those back like they were candy.
This is the thing. I have felt no pain with my teeth ever. Ever. No pain.
Congrats.
I
I am not that way.
No, a lot of people aren't, but I apparently was. So
Blessing. All right.
the only pain I felt the whole time was the third needle because he hit a nerve right here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Stop
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
That was the only pain I felt, honestly.
Okay.
I got
wow.
I got a headache. I took a couple light painkillers on the second day because I got a headache. But I figured that was just because my body was readjusting how it dealt with pressure.
Right. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
gotcha.
Right. But the teeth itself never. I know that sounds so weird to a lot of people, but I never felt pain. And the other most painful part was just sometimes you just yank, and I nearly fell off the chair a couple times, but that was the worst. That was literally the worst part of it. And
No way.
yeah.
That's amazing. I wish I had some sort of superpower like that, but I do not.
No.
You
You probably have other superpowers.
I'd have to think about that.
No.
What my superpowers are.
You are charismatic.
Oh, dude. Oh, stop it.
No.
Stop it.
You also blush really nicely.
I
Okay, but
I have no poker face. None.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So you blush. You got charisma. Like I said, I watched you perform. I watched you do a couple of performances right before I put your episode up. I'm like, you're very good. You have very good range.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, you do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, so you just gave me some superpowers.
Well, no, like I said, this is the weirdest thing. I've been stupid happy ever since the teeth got pulled.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Like
Yeah.
you've just been loving life, hey? I've been seeing your Facebook posts and everything is just so inspiring. I'm like, dude, like I complain about, I don't know, I'm like a little bit tired some days and I'm just like, man, this is so hard getting out of bed today. And then you're just like bouncing out of bed like, boom, let's drop this book. No big deal. Like, all right. And
No,
do it with half a mouthful of teeth. So
Yeah. It's like, meh.
That's beautiful, dude. That's so inspiring.
But no, it's been weird because going back to the no excuses thing, I've been dealing with people.
Such a good line.
I've been dealing with other people going through like hard times, and again, I'm not saying I'm going through the hardest time. I'm like, am I something wrong with me? Because I'm not depressed or any of that stuff. I'm still expecting like bumps in the road because there's probably going to be between now and when I finally take care of all of this. But it's been like,
you know what, dude? If being happy means there's something wrong with you, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. If that is the out of the norm thing that you've got going on, that's a pretty beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
it's just been weird. It's just like just letting go sometimes is good, you know.
Yeah.
So let's see. I feel like I've been talking more about me than you, and I'm not sure that's quite the way it should be going.
I like hearing it.
yeah, I know, but
I get to slip beneath the radar too, so you can say all the incriminating stuff, though nothing so far. But
I don't mind. Like I said, I got no. Yeah, I don't fear anything really. So it's just that heck, I've even confessed to my own stupid shit. What the hell? I mean,
you have to be able to. Yeah.
Well, it helps. You control. As a friend of mine once said, you control the narrative when you acknowledge your stupidity. One, and
yes,
that's actually very true. But two, I'm gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a really simple philosophy, but I'm gonna fuck up. I accept that. So, all right. Now, my fuck ups are especially stupid, and I can kind of like accept the fact that my fuck ups are exceptionally stupid, and
I would say exceptionally.
Oh no! Well,
I'd say you gotta realize the measuring tape of the world has a lot. Of...
No. Okay, so I'm not dumb in the sense that you're gonna see me, do something like really stupid, like
flash across a hockey game.
Maybe
you might do that.
If there's a reason, man. But I mean,
it just seems cold to me.
No.
Impractical.
It's not.
At least keep your socks on, right? Like.
Yeah, totally. No, I totally get you there. No, it's like, it's more like like really small dumb things I do. Right. Most of the time it's that. But like I said, I'm not perfect, and I'm like, well, I acknowledge it, and if I acknowledge, like, did you do it? Yeah. Are you sorry? Kind of. I was dumb, but I learned from it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying I have all the magical answers on that, but I find most people tend to try to deny that they're imperfections. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to have all the answers until, like, I'm still going to be fucking things up when I'm 80 or to 100.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm sorry.
Own it.
Yeah.
Own it. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, but it's how you grow. And if you acknowledge like, we live in a world where everything's recorded anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I mean, there's some really dumb stuff when I was like a teenager. I'm not just right.
Oh my gosh, my home videos are just like like, you're right. We're in an age where everything is recorded, so there's gonna be some incriminating stuff somewhere. You might as well just own your imperfections. I actually have a line in my poetry that says, "Show me your beautiful imperfections."
That's right.
Because that's what makes people human, and that's what makes them beautiful. And I think that all this kind of like photoshopping, audio editing, video editing, smoothing things over, it's so easy to piece together the perfect version of whatever you want to be instead of letting, the imperfect show.
Well, like my old mentor was doing when Trump got elected. He was talking about, he was trying to do this big debate about everybody should vote, right? Right. So my take on it, and it wasn't just my take, it was other people's take. Well, voting is as much about expression as it is about making a choice for your leaders. If someone chooses not to vote, it does. If enough people don't vote, that's an impact on who wins and who loses, absolutely. But on the same token, if I can't believe in somebody, why should I vote for them? If I can't believe in either candidate, or a multitude of candidates, my vote isn't worth a hill of beans.
Totally. Those people should go and just burn the ballot. Just give a blank abstinent vote, because then it shows that, like, I went there and I'm saying none of these people are up to snuff for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like to give that voice.
I voted for Bernie Sanders. I could vote in the American election, so
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, amen to you. Round of applause.
I voted for Bernie Sanders, even though my vote won't be counted in the grand scheme of things. It was the only vote I could actually do.
And that's
in my conscience.
That's real voting. That's saying, like, this is what I want, right? I think what drives me crazy is not people abstaining from voting, but people not saying that they're abstaining from voting on the ballot. Because all the US sees is a bunch of people that are too, like, all the stats see is people who are too lazy to go out and cast their vote.
Yeah. Well,
right?
That's the narrative. That's the narrative. But the reality is, like, if you have no faith in any candidate, you shouldn't vote for them. Now, one could argue, the only argument you could throw at those people is this: you could put somebody else on a blank slate of paper. Even if they don't win, you're still, like, expressing yourself that way.
Yeah.
Look, but really, if that's the only thing I can say, right? But anyway, so it ended up happening was not just me, but other people kept playing. Because some people point out to them, those votes don't count. There's a lot. So what happened? He ended up deleting his post, and I'm like,
really?
Well, no, no. I mean, sometimes. Well, see, one of my big mistakes way back in the day is, I didn't understand evolution, but once upon a time, and I gave my very uninformed opinion about evolution, and I got my ass handed to me on a platter. But it was good because it forced again. This is one of those things about mistakes, right? And learning. There are things about the theory I still don't agree with. But I like the there's a theory about kind of from a liquid amoeba kind of point of view. That makes more sense to me than apes. But that's neither here nor there. But the point is, right? I can look at it more constructively now because I got my ass handed to me.
So you were brave enough to put your opinion out there, right?
Yeah.
And I think the thing is I mean, I would love if people thought more in terms of loving thinking rather than constructive thinking a lot of the time. As in, when people are, quote unquote, handing you your ass about that, right?
Yeah.
If they could say it as, like, well, have you thought of it this way, and that sort of thing, in a loving way, you can say the same thing without crushing someone's spirit. But I think it's amazing that you have the resilience to be like, well, these people's, like, yelly rants at me actually might have something Like,
Well, it wasn't really. It wasn't. That's the thing is they didn't. Again, it was more. It was more what the first and the second that handed me. That handed. No, it was. It was just. It was. There was a touch of snark to it, but not. But not. But it wasn't like. It wasn't like.
Because that can happen on Facebook, right?
Oh no!
God,
This is back. This is back in the bulletin board days.
Oh
yeah. So I made all my mistakes there. I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I made all my mistakes there. Now I can look at now I can look at again. I still will make mistakes on social media. But by and large, my mistakes now involve when someone has a real personal like passion or prejudice against certain things.
Yeah.
I just steer clear. That's what I did.
Smart though. Seriously, it's like, sometimes it's just not worth engaging. Like, it's tough to know when to draw the line because you want to open productive discourse and you don't just want to be complacent and blah blah blah. But at the same time, if you're entering a conversation to change someone's mind about something to like win the conversation, you know, some people kind of go in with that mindset, then it might not be a conversation you want to have. I find that I only enter conversations that I'm hoping to mutually learn something and be like, listen, I don't quite get where you're coming from. Like, this is my point of view. Explain to me yours, right? Like something like that. Whereas sometimes when I feel myself having the urge to basically preach and be like, nah, man, this is totally wrong, then I kind of hesitate to.
There's okay, so biblically speaking, there's two Bible verses. This is the biblical one.
I was gonna say I don't speak biblically very often. So
Proverbs 26:4, Proverbs 26:5. The one is answer. The Proverbs 25 is answer a fool lest he be wise in his own eyes, and one says answer not a fool lest he be wise in his like according to his folly. Right. So the idea is there are times with people that you just know. Your conversation ain't gonna go anywhere, right? It's just there's no point, right? And you can figure it like you may not be able to figure it out right away, but there comes a point where it's like this is their loop, and that is kind of where that's where they are, and you can't you're not gonna change their minds. Consequently, though, now personal story, my very first book signing.
Yeah.
So. He was into something called the mom son combo were into something called colontic science, and my first book, although I did some really terribly horrible things again, making all my mistakes when I was young, but I remember this. There's these two guys that claimed they were born again Christians, and they were coming on like he was trying to be nice to them, but they were really pushing his buttons. Because they had this concept in their head that just because they believed in God, that they had the moral right because God was on their side and blah, 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 blah. I shut them down. Because there's now again, do I believe in God? Absolutely. But I don't feel I'm better than anybody else because I believe in God.
Right.
And that's and this is where a lot of people, and now, if you want me to talk to you why I think God's the way and blah, 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 I will happily do that with you. But if you don't...
Right. That doesn't have to be our jam.
No. I'll have a beer with you. I don't care what you believe. Right? You can legitimately talk to demons. That's cool. Just keep it in your house. We're all good. But that's... I'm not here to pass judgment on somebody else. But on the same token, if I see you hurting somebody or even to some degree hurting yourself, although that's a really tricky, the hurting yourself one's a really tricky slope to step into.
Right, yeah.
Because sometimes that's a lesson that needs to be learned, and sometimes sometimes, you know, that one's a trickier one. But when someone's deliberately hurting somebody else because of their beliefs, you try to shut that down.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, hurting anybody because of your beliefs. And you're right, like it's tricky when it comes to yourself as well, because a lot of people treat others more nicely than they treat themselves. And it's a tough thing to enforce because you can't really control how somebody treats themselves. You can kind of stand between someone and the person they're offending, unless it's
it's the other catch is too. Does that person want to be helped?
Right. Yeah.
And that's a really hard.
The hardest, but the most. It's so accurate. So many times in my life,
Yeah.
It's like, you just want to give somebody a parachute, and they're like, I'm a skydive though without this thing, and you're like, that's a terrible idea, but you can't. There's no more you can do.
No, that's it.
Right?
No, and that's as far as you can go. You have to let people. I mean, you have to let people go off and do their thing, and you hope for the best. You hope sometimes that consequence you can see coming a mile away is not going to hit them. You just kind of go like this. Life's not fair, not perfect. Sometimes you walk away unscathed. I'm gonna go like this, but I mean that's
Yes.
but yeah, you can't help somebody unless they want to help themselves. And like I said, a friend of mine came to me for advice just based on just where they were in a relationship, and I started to say something, and they bolted.
Really?
Well, they weren't ready for what I was going to tell them, and but what are you going to do, right? That's life.
Yeah. My general rule is that I don't give advice unless somebody has asked for it. Far more often, what I find what's been useful in my own life is when people ask me questions about what I would do. Right? Instead of saying, well, this is what I would do if I were you. Like, what my dad did a lot, and my mom too, is they'd say, well, like, what would the next step be then? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, do you want to feel this way? Like, okay, how do you want to feel? How do you get there? What are the steps you take? Like, and then by the end of it, I will have found the solution myself for what I want to do. I find that if people kind of, I have definitely stuck my foot in my mouth the same way you have with, with friends trying to be helpful, just say, oh, well, maybe you could do it this way. And then they're like, yeah, okay, nah. And then they don't do it that way, or they're too scared, or it's just too much for that time. And nobody benefits, right? So I find that, like, wherever possible, I try to ask people questions about how they would solve it and try to help them find the solution themselves. Some people just aren't willing to go there, aren't willing to go to a productive place, but most people, I find.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good way of doing it. I should do that more. No,
Not to say it's better or worse, but
no.
I have found that it's gotten me in less trouble. Why not put it that way?
No. It's true. It does get you in less trouble because you're putting the onus on them, and you're like, I'm not trying to take control of your life in any way, shape, or form. This is because I'm not. No, but again, it's a slippery slope. I again, helping people. Yeah, always be open to help people, but yeah, again, it's recognizing what they can and can't do, and that's a hard one, and sometimes that's a really that is a hard one. Like it's hard
to recognize that in yourself, right? Let alone somebody else who might not.
I'd actually argue it's hard to recognize in yourself.
Yeah. Like, where do you draw the line between the feasible and infeasible, and how are you going to accomplish all this?
Well, going back to the teeth thing, I mean, up until this year, I wasn't ready to have it fixed, and I needed to have them fixed for a while.
Right.
I just wasn't ready mentally for that step.
Yeah.
And this year, just I was ready for it, and when I was ready for it, I've been doing steps, and here we are. Right.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, sometimes the flip switches within yourself too. Like, you can see things that, I should really fix that, or I should really, change that. And it could be something as small as like a house thing, like, that hinge on that door squeaks every time I open it, and you just never think to fix it, or you're never ready to fix it. The same thing happens within your own life, right? Like, for you, your teeth was that little squeaky hinge. For other people, it might be their eating habits, or it might be their self-deprecation, or whatever. And some people can swing that squeaky hinge open and close their whole life, and just complain about how squeaky that hinge is, but never get around to fixing it, right? Whereas other people are like, maybe the 5th time, maybe the 500th time, maybe the 5,000th, 5,000,000th time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, maybe that is the breaking point for some people, and it's whatever that point is that you go, no, this is now something that I have to deal with. I cannot listen to that that hinge squeak one more time.
Squeaky hinges.
Yeah. Time out real quick. Do you think we should move because of these guys? How much do you think the cell phone picks up? It's totally up to you. You have way more experience with this than I do.
It might pick it up a bit, but I don't know if it matters.
Okay, it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take a quick spin and see if there's somewhere else.
If you want to do that, we can do that. Huh?
I mean, you're the pro here.
No, I'm a professional.
And that was part 1 of my conversation with Miranda Krogstad. Hello, everybody. Part 2 will be up very shortly, I promise. Check her out on our YouTube channel, Miranda Krogstad. Any events she does in town, any seminar sessions, you really should take a moment and go check her out. She's an amazing performer, and I think you should give yourself that opportunity. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. You can support this podcast a number of different ways. You can subscribe to this podcast either through Podomatic or iTunes. I would love that. My YouTube channel is Joshua Pentalaresco. More episodes will be uploaded there shortly. The archive is slowly growing. I'm going to have 100 episodes up there soon, which is like scary. It's constantly growing, and I love what I've done there. You can get my books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, The Wandering God. They are all available through mirrorworldpublishing.com, Amazon, anywhere electronic books are sold. Very soon, my next book, The Cloud Diver, will be coming out, and that will be a hell of a thing. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. But regardless whether you support this thing or not, I hope you dream with your eyes wide open. I hope good things come your way. Honestly, man, it's a new day. Make the most of it. All right. See you next time.
Josh.